What's up, everybody? Josh Clow here. Today, I'm going to be giving my opinion on the 2020 draft from Miami Dolphins. Just kind of grading each player of what I gave a grade, and at the end, overall, what I gave the grade for the whole draft overall. So I'm just going to go by each guy, and at the end, I'm also going to be talking about the Matt Brady trade, and then overall the team itself. So starting off, Tua. Our fifth overall pick, quarterback Tua. I gave that pick an A-. A lot of you guys are like, well, that was an A+. Why are you giving it an A-? Injury concern is my biggest question. Now, if he never gets hurt again, his hip is completely never going to be a factor again. He starts the next 200 consecutive games that he plays in. Home run in the park, A+, the greatest pick the Dolphins has made and forever. But why A-? If he does get hurt, reactivated his hip, or tears his ACL, something like that, and kind of pulls the Sam Bradford and just never was the same after his injury, then the Dolphins are back at square one trying to find their franchise quarterback since Dan Marino, and obviously you can tell it's been really hard for the Miami Dolphins since finding a quarterback. Moving on, Austin Jackson, our second pick on the first round of the draft. I gave that pick a B+, and why I gave it to a B+ is he's not a week one starter. The only reason why the Dolphins got Austin Jackson was because they got Tua at 5, and at this point you want to build the O-line for him so he doesn't get hurt. He doesn't take a lot of hits that Ryan Tannehill did when he was drafted, and keep him as healthy as you can so he doesn't kind of just be that flop of a pick because we couldn't protect him, career-ending injury. But he could definitely be a great building piece moving forward for the Miami Dolphins with the right coaching. Hopefully he could be the next premier, O-line. The only downside is the Miami Dolphins has picked so many O-linemen in the last 10, 15 years, and a lot of them, none of them are on the team. They're all gone. They all got hurt. And will he fall under that, pattern? That's the biggest question. So B+ for him. The next one, our last pick, or the one that we traded, down for was, and if I do mispronounce anybody's name, I do apologize. I'm not the great at pronouncing names. Was Noah Mbahagane. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I gave that a B+ as well. I think overall it was a great pick for the Miami Dolphins, I think talent-wise, but as a need-wise, I don't think the Dolphins truly needed him. If they move him to safety or kind of put him like a Minkah Fitzpatrick situation, move him around, and, he doesn't complain like Minkah Fitzpatrick, then I give that grade an A. And I think it would be a great pickup, but if he's going to play as a slot cornerback, yeah, we need another cornerback for the slot wide receiver, but I didn't think that was a biggest need at that point. But I think they just went for best possible, talent-wise. My only fear is he was a wide receiver at one point for during college, and the last time we got a cornerback who was a wide receiver transition, it didn't really worked out that well. So there's kind of like a leeway for me on that one, but if he plays really well, kind of moves into the safety, he's definitely a good backup, if Xavier Howard or Byron Jones go down, but I didn't think it was the biggest need for the Dolphins at 30. There was other positions to address, but B+ right there. Going to day 2, Robert Hunt. I give that an A+. That was a phenomenal pick for the Miami Dolphins. He's versatile. He's really good. He can play in different positions. He's really good at run blocking. And for the team that's been really bad at running in the previous years, despite having really good running backs in Jay Ajayi, Lamar Miller, Kenyon Drake, and last in the league in running. I mean, our 37-year-old quarterback was leading our team in running. Definitely was a need there. You want to protect Tua, so you just got 2 O-linemen, which can probably could be, will be starting at one point in the upcoming season. All we know is Tua's not going to play unless something had happened, whether the Dolphins are kind of in playoff position, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is not going to lead you there. Ryan Fitzpatrick gets hurt, and, well, I think Tua is ready. We'll throw him in, but overall, it was a great pick, A+. Next pick is Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle. I give that an A. He's a great run stopper, something that the Dolphins have struggled in a very long time. Can never stop the run, despite who we brought in. I mean, we brought in Namaka Suh to help out. I mean, we had a great D-line for like 2 years and still was like 27, 26 in the league in run defense. So he's under a Nick Saban scheme. And if you guys know anything about college football, which most of y'all probably do, Nick Saban has produced some of the greatest defensive players in the last 10 years. This is a great pickup. I think that, he won't be a bust. I think that he will translate what he did in college into the NFL, be a good run stopper, be a good defensive tackle, and, help push the Miami Dolphins defense to out of the bottom half and hopefully up to the bottom half, or upper half. And overall, he's a great fit for a 3-4 defense that is supposedly what Brian Flores is moving the Dolphins into. Our next pick was Brandon Jones. He was a B+. Overall, he's a decent safety. He has really good IQ, and I think that's one of the most important things when you run into the NFL is your IQ. Like, you can be physically gifted all you want, but if you're just not smart when you're on the field, you're not going to last long. So, unfortunately, he's probably going to be a backup his first year, maybe his second year, unless somehow he progresses really well in training camp into preseason, if we even have those. I don't really know what the questions for the NFL is right now, but and that might hurt him as well because he's not going to get his feet wet into the NFL like that real quick. So he's probably going to be a backup, mostly for special teams at this point. Right now, Eric Rowe and Bobby McCain are the starters for the safety positions, and with Pry and Bahagane sliding into safety every once in a while too. And we'll kind of see with him. That's why I gave him a B+. Probably a backup, could move into his starting position depending how our safeties perform. Next one is offensive guard Solomon Kinley. I give that a B-. He's more of a run blocker, which we already got a run blocker, and Robert Hunt, which, I mean, it's not bad to get more, but you're looking at an O-line who is really bad at protecting the quarterback. I mean, they've been really bad at running the running game as well, but I feel like at this point you should get O-linemen who can protect Tua more. That's going to be your biggest need because Tua is your supposedly next franchise quarterback. You don't want him to get injured. You don't want him to, anything to happen, get pressured every other play because we're not going to win football games. That's fact. So I didn't really think we needed him at that point. I think we could have gotten a better O-lineman on a pass protection wise or find another need for the Dolphins. So that's why I gave it a B-. Just didn't think he was absolutely needed. He also has his bad trait is he doesn't have a lot of movement. So for pass protection, we would definitely see. I don't see him lasting long on the Dolphins. I think that maybe 2 to 3. He won't sign another deal, in my opinion. But I hope he proves me wrong. Obviously, I mean, I hope he becomes great and he's a building block for the Dolphins. But as of right now, I didn't think we needed him. Next is defensive end Jason Stowbridge. I gave that a C. At this point, he's going to be a backup, in my opinion. Will most likely play special teams. I didn't think the Dolphins truly needed him. The Dolphins are really building the trenches. I mean, you already have Christian Wilkins. You brought in Shaq Lawson. You have Raekwon Davis. We still supposedly have, Charles Harris, however long he's going to be on the team. I don't really know. And the Dolphins have other players. I didn't think he was that much of a need at that point for defensive end. Yeah, it's always nice to build the trenches, but at that point, I think the Dolphins should have gone a different route. There was other needs that the Dolphins should have gotten, whether it was linebacker, maybe another safety, definitely wide receiver. I think the Dolphins should have a wide receiver at the time. But And I also think that the Dolphins, which I'll talk on a little bit later as well, should have double dipped on quarterback for the possibility of Tua being injury prone. You really don't know the future around Tua because none of us can predict the future, but there is that possibility. You want to have a backup plan. I mean, the Redskins had it a couple years ago when they drafted RG3 and then Kirk Cousins. That backup plan worked for a little bit before they realized that they couldn't, sign Kirk Cousins to a long-term deal. But I didn't think we need him. So we'll see where it plays out. Next pick after that was Curtis Weaver. I give that a B+. Great stats. I mean, he's 34 sacks in the last 3 years in college football, which is ranked number 1 in college football. The second guy was Chase Young with that. I think it was 30.5 sacks, so he can pressure. He's an outside linebacker. You can put pressure in. But the only downside of him is he lacks some athletic traits, and it's not a big. It's definitely a somewhat question mark. But with the right coaching, which I think the Dolphins are definitely moving forward to, I think the Dolphins can definitely progress him and hopefully be a decent linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. I don't really know much of his pass protection or his passing game while he's defending. I don't really know much about him, to be completely honest, but hopefully coaching wise he can turn into a next nice linebacker, but that's something we're definitely going to see. Next guy's going to be Blake Ferguson. He is a long snapper. I gave that pick a C. And why is I don't think we really needed to draft a long snapper. Granted, we're in the 6th round, but in the 6th round, you'll find some steals. You'll find some hidden gems. I mean, Julian Edelman was a 6th round. No. Antonio Brown was a 6th round. Julian Edelman was a 7th round, I believe. Tom Brady was a 6. Ryan Fitzpatrick was a 7. Frank Gore was undrafted. I mean, there's a lot of steals you can find late in the rounds, late rounds, or possibly undrafted. I think we could have gotten him probably our last pick in the draft, or probably undrafted, in my opinion. The Dolphins could have gone somewhere else. Like I said, maybe double-dip quarterback, find a different position. I just didn't think long snapper should have been a high priority, at that point in time. But I'm not the coach. I heard that the coaches really liked him. That's why they drafted him. But I didn't really see why we should have drafted him in the 6th. He should have been our last pick of the draft. But we'll see how that pans out. Our last pick in the draft was Malcolm Perry. He was listed as wide receiver, but he played quarterback, running back, and wide receiver for Navy. I give that one an A+ because of how versatile he is. He's basically our Taysom Hill from what the Saints have. What's great about him is he can definitely do a lot. We could throw him in for a lot of trick plays. Like I said, he could throw the ball really well. He can run the ball really well. He can catch the ball really well. This is a great pickup. I don't know where he's going to stand, on the team, whether he's going to be a wide receiver or running back or a quarterback, but I think for the next 2 or 3 years, he's definitely a guy that the Dolphins are going to play with, see what they can make out of him, and see what special, cool plays we can do to hopefully propel this team into a playoff caliber team. Because, I mean, y'all saw the Philly special back in the Super Bowl. That definitely, helped the Eagles move up to win the Super Bowl. And that was such a game changer. That was such a momentum builder. So we can see what he's going to, what he'll be later on. But great pick for the Miami Dolphins. And the last thing I'm going to talk about the trade we did with Matt Breida. He's also an A+. Great young running back. He was in a 5th. We traded a 5th round pick for him. I think he's a great pairing for Jordan Howard. Young, he's 25 years old. On final year in his rookie deal. It's not costing us that much, about $3 million. So I think this was a great trade overall. And we finally filled in that running back need that we needed. Out of all those guys that we got, overall, I give this draft a B+, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, this draft was an A+. It was the best draft that we had in recent years, and I completely agree. This was definitely one of our better drafts in recent years, but why I gave it a B+ was the Dolphins did build the trenches, D-line and O-line, But there's still a question remaining at safety at a long-term position. Granted, we still have upcoming drafts next year. We got a couple first-rounders and second-rounders. Maybe possibly a top-notch linebacker. And a lot of you guys are probably going to sit there, well, we have great linebackers. But, I mean, to be brutally honest, if you sit there and ask fans, from other teams who Jamone Barker and Raekwon McKinnon is, they're going to be like, who? And I think those guys are decent guys, but they're not elite playmaker linebackers that the Dolphins truly absolutely need. I mean, we haven't had a Pro Bowl linebacker since Zach Thomas in 2006. Those guys could possibly progress, yes, but how long are you guys willing to progress on them? I think one of them's going to sign a new deal, and not both of them's going to sign a new deal for the Miami Dolphins, and I think the Dolphins should sit there and start realizing we need to find a elite linebacker, the next Luke Kuechly, that type of player. I don't think those guys are going to be those type of players, but I think that this year is very important for both those guys because we'll see if they'll make or break, into the NFL, but we will see. Also, in a very deep wide receiver draft, the Dolphins should have drafted another wide receiver. And we got Malcolm Perry in the late round, but I think we need another wide receiver paired up with Devontae Parker. Preston Williams coming off an ACL tear. We really don't know what he's going to be afterwards. That could be a hit or miss. He's great. He was showing promise, but that ACL tear can definitely change him around. Allen Hurns has been really questionable. He's been up and down. He's been injured. Don't really know if he's going to be a star wide receiver or how long he's going to last in the NFL because of his injury concerns. So I think the Dolphins definitely should have gone, a wide receiver at one point as well too. And then the biggest question of all is, can Tua stay healthy, and will this O-line improve? Like I said, we got a couple of O-line guys that we built the trenches, but looking at guys like Solomon Kinley, was this the right guy who's going to protect Tua? I don't really know. That they were kind of going more on run blocking guys instead of pass protecting guys, but it's something to see. It's really hard to grade an overall draft because it takes a couple of years to really sit there and find out who are your guys and who aren't your guys. Typically, half these guys won't sign a new deal after their rookie contract, so we will definitely see where the Dolphins draft, what this draft really is in about 2 years' time from now. But that's what, in my opinion, what I give the Dolphins at this point. Let me know down below what you guys think about what the Dolphins did in the draft, what's your overall grade for the draft, any type of these guys that I discussed, what you think that their grade was. Do you agree with the grades I gave? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. Like I said, and give me your thoughts on what the overall grade for this year's draft as well. Like always, thank you for supporting and watching my videos. Make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys don't miss any future videos. And before I go, if any of you guys are still watching, to give you guys a heads up, I am moving cross country back to Virginia sometime next week. So the videos may go down for the next couple of weeks because I am transitioning 3,000 miles. Moving, it's a lot of a lot on me. So I will try to get you guys, a video here and there, but please bear with me for the next couple of weeks as I move. But like I said, thank you guys for supporting. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.